This week in East Brunswick, we'll start with a look at the graduation exercises for East Brunswick High School's class of 1985. Next, it's over to the Cornelius Lau House Museum in Piscataway to see an exhibition of local artwork. Then a look at a public meeting co-sponsored by Irate, Independent Residents Against Toxic Environments, and the Greater Edgeboro Businessmen's Association held in the library. And of course our regular features. Ken Shalhoub's Health Facts, this week with a report on indomethacin, the arthritis drug. Kids Comments with Talia Bashi reviewing I'm Vinny, I'm Me. Pet Care with Mike Mansfield. Today's topic, pet leashes. Consumer Aware with Adrian Eisner on the subject of missing children. And our Township Council review, but first a look at next week's lineup on Channel 8. Monday at 10 a.m. it's Look Great, Feel Great with Lenore Kulik and part 2 of Make Your Own Exercise video for women. At 10:30, Target with Paula Durant and Crisis Intervention Services. And at 11, a repeat of This Week in East Brunswick. Tuesday at 7:30, it's Let's Talk Health with open heart surgeon Alan Spotnitz. And at 8, You and Your Money's Paul Hansen talks with Charles Peck of the New York Futures Exchange. Wednesday at 2:30, it's a repeat of Monday's Look Great, Feel Great, and at 3, we begin a series of the popular PBS-produced Reading Rainbows. And at 7, Look Great, Feel Great again. Followed by a close look at industrial arts in the East Brunswick schools on Spotlight on Education. And at 8 o'clock, a repeat of Target. Due to the holiday on Thursday, the 4th of July, Channel 8 will not be cablecasting. And just a reminder that throughout the summer, we will not be cablecasting on Saturdays. Last Thursday evening, as the class of 1985 prepared to receive their diplomas, an unexpected rain chased the early arriving spectators back to their cars. And it wasn't until 15 minutes before the scheduled 6 p.m. starting time that the skies cleared and the commencement began. After the invocation, given by Reverend John Gordon of St. Bartholomew's Church, a farewell address was given by Sharon Netta, class president.
13 years of formal education has come to an end on this day, and tomorrow we are to embark on a journey into the real world, whether it be going on to higher education or taking on the formidable task of entering the job market. Yet before we begin this journey, I would like to take a look at our times in the East Brunswick schools, and then I would like to examine the world around us to see what remedy we must come up with to make our world a better place in which to live. Throughout our years in East Brunswick, together we have shared both times of joy and times of sorrow. In years to come, when we reminisce about our times in EB, we will fondly look back at our times at Camp Fairview and Stokes, our trip to Williamsburg and our semi-formal, and at the senior variety show, the prom, and especially today's ceremony and what it symbolizes. We will also remember with great happiness the many friendships we have made. Unfortunately, we will also look back at some of our times here with great sorrow, the worst being a loss in our dear friend Glenn Libby. These are some of the events that help shape our lives. Yet while today is a day to look back, it is also a day to make plans, to forge ahead with new ideas, to pursue all of our goals. For we must move on. The world in which we live is not a terribly great place. Our world today is full of fear, violence, and suffering. A world in which people fear that man can be destroyed by a nuclear holocaust. A world in which 40 Americans are being held hostage in Beirut. A world in which thousands die daily due to hunger. Yet as I look at the sea of green and white in front of me, I can't help but think that our class is symbolic of hope. That our class has the capability to make this world a better place in which to live. From the beginning of our days at EB, we have tried to accomplish this mission. As sophomores, we defended our right from censorship when that right was attacked by a small group of people after the 1983 variety show. And within the past month, our class has given its all for our starving brothers in Africa. No other class in EBHS history can boast of these accomplishments. Yet we cannot stop now. We cannot rest on our laurels. We must continue, for each one of us makes a difference. When asked how he would like to be remembered, Robert Kennedy told of this George Bernard Shaw quote, "Some men see things as they are and ask why. I like to dream of things that aren't and ask why not." I believe this statement applies to all of us here, every single one of us. We cannot look at the condition the world is in today and simply ask why. Rather, it is our duty to dream of the world as a better place and ask why not. Thank you and congratulations.
Next was valedictorian Susan Streisand.
Welcome to our commencement. Although this day marks the termination of our high school experience, it does not signify the completion of our education. Indeed, the word commencement indicates a beginning. We will begin to gather knowledge in new ways. For some, formal classroom learning will be replaced by knowledge acquired on the job or in military service. And currently, our experiences in school have taught us about life, things that are not found in books. We have learned how to continue in our pursuit of knowledge. We have also attained some degree of discipline and responsibility, traits that each one of us have demonstrated and which have enabled us to reach this milestone in our lives. We have begun to learn how to think, how to budget time, and how to balance the demands of a social life, a job, and schoolwork. Although we have all reached different stages in our growth toward becoming mature citizens, we have begun to acquire the skills that we hope will help us to be happy and to succeed in life. East Brunswick High School, through its dedicated teaching staff, administrators, and counselors, has set the foundation for our ability to handle both the opportunities and the obstacles that will come our way on the path of life. Graduation is here. A whole world of challenges lies in front of us. As we go forth into the world, enriched by our 3 years at Holly Rock High, let us endeavor to be the best people we can be, so that each of us, in his or her own way, can make a contribution to society which will help to make the world a better place in which to live. Thank you and congratulations.
There then followed speeches by Karen Brown, President of the Student Council, High School Principal James Sheeran, and Superintendent of Schools Dr. Joseph Sweeney. And last but not least, the awarding of the diplomas.
Michael J. Curcio, Matthew C. Hurt, Jamie
Hello, my name is Barbara Hutchings. I'd like to welcome you to the Cornelius Lau House, the Middlesex County Museum. We have on display now the Artists League of Central New Jersey 8th Annual Statewide Juried Exhibition. It will be on display through July 12th, and I'd like to introduce Elza Dima, who's the publicity chairperson for the Artists League of Central New Jersey, and who will tell you something about the exhibit.
Thank you. The 8th annual, sponsored by the Artists League of Central New Jersey, held in this building, the Middlesex County Museum, is the major event of the Artists League of Central New Jersey. This exhibition includes works by artists from all over the state of New Jersey. Artists living or working in this state can participate in this exhibition. Works done by 47 artists are shown in this exhibition, a total of 51 works. Any medium is acceptable in this exhibition, two-dimensional or three-dimensional work, including even photography. You can see on the walls works done in pencil, charcoal, pen, or any combination of these three media. Also, paintings done in watercolors, oils, mixed media, and sculpture. 5 winners of $100 awards for excellence have been granted to Katya Gushu of Toms River for Pine Swamp, a pastel and pencil on canvas. Aiko Khan of Princeton received also an award for excellence for her painting Uncharted Domain, number 3, which is actually a mixed media. Susan Burt Kittredge of Princeton received equally an award for excellence for her sewn construction, Centihedron. 2 more artists received an award for excellence. For instance, Herman Margulis of South Orange for Abandoned number 10, a pastel. And Carly Walker of Caldwell for her pencil drawing Park Bench is the last recipient of the $100 award for excellence.
Thank you, Elsa. Elsa, by the way, had 2 pieces accepted in the show, and she's also an award winner. This exhibit is open from 1 to 4, Tuesday through Sunday, through July 12th. On July 12th, the exhibit closes, and we won't open again until September 29th, so hurry over while you still have the opportunity. Don't be discouraged by the landscaping, which is now in progress. We're currently undergoing restoration of the grounds. We're making a museum parking lot and a scenic walkway and regrading the grounds. The construction will be completed in September when our next exhibit, Artworks McNaxley will open on the 29th.
Due to the redirection of garbage trucks from other landfills in the state that have closed, Edgeboro Landfill in East Brunswick is now taking in nearly 1,500 trucks daily. This past Tuesday evening, Irate, Independent Residents Against Toxic Environments, plus the Greater Edgeboro Businessmen's Association, held a public meeting at the library to discuss the problem. We asked Stan Fisher, co-chairperson of Irate, to explain the purpose of the meeting.
The purpose of the forum is to update everyone on what's happened to the township over the last 9 months since we've been inundated with approximately 1,500 garbage trucks a day, its effect on the business community economically, and its effect on the rest of the residents of town. Speaking tonight, scheduled to appear tonight, are 2 freeholders, Mr. Stephen Capestro, the chairman of the Board of Freeholders, and David Crabiel, also Greg Ferenbach, the township administrator, representatives of the business community, and I'm also scheduled to speak. After the speeches, we're going to open up to the public for any statements and thoughts that the public might have on the problem.
Okay, if there's anybody else interested in getting involved, who can they contact?
They can contact, if they're in the business community, they can contact Bruce Arbeiter, who's the president of Rutgers Express, or they can contact me or my co-chairman, Audrey Mantell, and our phone numbers are in the book.
In 1972, the state of New Jersey had an inventory of 331 landfills, and in parentheses, they write dump sites. By 1983, that figure had plummeted to 167. Today, New Jersey has 75 active landfills. Of the remaining landfills, 11, and Edgeboro is one of the 11, receive 90% of the garbage in the state of New Jersey.
It's strange that we in East Brunswick have a landfill, a check that had a landfill, which is capable of satisfying our county's disposal requirements for the next 20 years. How strange that we in East Brunswick and other towns in this county are further extending our landfill lives with pollution-free, economical, mandatory recycling programs, only to find ourselves betrayed by our own state and, unfortunately, our own county. And I think Mr. Capestro and Mr. Crabiel leaving tonight 20 minutes in, or not even 20 minutes into the program, speaks volumes.
Also at the meeting was Council President Jerome O'Connor, who read a letter that he prepared to send to state and county officials.
As you know, there are a few main roadways in East Brunswick: Ruse Lane, Riders Lane, Cranberry Road, and Route 18. Each day, these roadways carry a total of 1,300 to 1,500 garbage trucks to the Edgeboro landfill. Access to the landfill is via Route 18 and Edgeboro Road. And this means that the intersection carries almost 3,000 garbage truck movements each day. Whatever number of trucks use the other roads I mentioned can also be doubled in terms of truck movements. So we're talking about an awful lot of truck movements in East Brunswick. The traffic conditions in this township, because of those truck movements, are chaotic, to your point, and hazardous. Our businesses along Edgeboro Road are being stifled, and our own residential garbage pickups are in some cases being delayed by 1 day because those trucks that pick up our garbage cannot move in and out of the landfill on schedule. This terrible condition can only be corrected by drastic reduction in the number of trucks entering the landfill. Again, it was mentioned, only a few short years ago, the Edgeboro landfill received 300 to 400 trucks each day, including those, the woman mentioned in the back, those that came from New York City. The shortage of landfills in New Jersey has obviously caused this problem, but the Solid Waste Management Act was supposed to correct it. And as you know, the intent of, and I say you know, it's directed toward the freeholders. As you know, the intent of the act is to require that each county take care of its own garbage. That goal is nowhere in sight. Certain counties currently dumping in Edgeboro have completely disregarded the law, and that law has no teeth in it.
East Brunswick Director of Public Safety, Thomas Terrell, answered in response to a resident's question asking if there was some sort of action the police could take to harass the garbage trucks.
Our objective is to, as well as we can, very objectively, handle the situation. Now you have businesses on Edgeboro Road. You propose to block Edgeboro Road. You have 40,000 people coming into East Brunswick each day to use the shopping centers and the industrial centers. It wouldn't be wise to block Route 18. There has to be, and by the way, it is against the law. And the state has a good deal of authority, and we are sworn to uphold the law. So what we're trying to do in public safety is make the best of a bad situation. We wish you well in your strategies to alleviate the condition. Our responsibility is keep traffic moving as best we can.
You didn't answer my question, though. I didn't talk about blocking East Brunswick per se. I said inspecting the vehicles, which would by doing it would cause a blockage. Okay, and what would happen if we did do that in 1 day and all hell broke loose and traffic stopped? Boy, would we get a lot of attention.
Stan Fisher urged everyone who can to go to the County Freeholders meeting on Thursday, July 18th at 8 p.m. to express their anger over the situation.
Indomethacin, a drug used for the treatment of arthritis, which is an anti-inflammatory drug, has just found a new use. It's been approved by the FDA for the use in closing the hole in the heart that the fetus has, which is used to reroute the blood away from the lungs before the baby is born. Now, this was a condition that, up until just the approval of this drug, had to be corrected with surgery. Well, it turns out that this drug, for some reason, I don't know how it works, but for some reason it closes the artery and prevents the need for surgery. The only problem is that the drug occasionally causes kidney damage, and unlike the surgical repair, it is not always successful. Nevertheless, it does avoid the trauma and expensive surgery, says Gene S. Kahn, a pediatric cardiologist at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, who expects that the drug will become a treatment of choice in the future. Again, an advancement in drug therapy that prevents surgery. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Hi, I'm Talia Bashi, and I'm reading a review by Robin Honig called On Vinny, I'm Me by Bianca Bradbury. On Vinny, I'm Me is about a girl whose parents have both died. They leave a motel which Vinny and her brother run with the permission of the police. Vinny must clean all the rooms and take care of her brother. She has a great many responsibilities there. Foster homes want to take Vinny and her brother and split them up, but they don't want to go. With the help of the police, their own guard dog, and Vinny's responsible ways, Vinny and her brother managed to stay on their own. I found this book to be very enjoyable for teenagers.
How do you do? I'm Special Officer Mike Mansfield, East Brunswick Animal Control. I'd like to talk to you today about leashes and humane ways to tie your dog up in the backyard. Some people feel they want their dogs to be outside dogs, not indoor dogs. Tying a dog to a post in the backyard where he runs in a circle for the rest of his life tends to make the dogs overprotective of the area, and they do become aggressive in approximately 60% of the cases. Remember, whenever you keep a dog outside, he must always have shelter and water and be fed once a day. Now, I have some leashes here I'd like to show you. These are nylon leashes and nylon collar. Nylon tends to be stronger and better than leather because leather will stretch, and many times animals are picked up running at large because they pulled out of their collar or snapped their collar, and leather ones tend to stretch and snap and come off. Nylon won't do this. Nylon leashes won't break either, and when you hold the animal and you're walking it and he comes in contact with another dog, you have the control to pull the dogs apart before any injury happens to either one of them. Another thing people like to use is a choke collar. Choke collars are very good as long as they're used properly. The choke collar, when put on a dog, should be slid down like this and then slid over the animal's neck. When you let up on the leash, the collar, the chain will automatically drop down, only securing the dog and then immediately letting up again. When you have a very large dog and you want to tie him in the backyard, I would advise either a heavy-duty welded chain collar or a nylon collar, not leather. Always put your license on your dog if he breaks loose, and the license is on the dog. It's cheap insurance to get his safe return quickly as possible. The best way to tie a dog outside, other than staking him to a pole, would be to use the dog runs. You can purchase them at any pet shop. They consist of a very long wire with a 20-foot chain. You hook it to the dog. You hook one end of the long run to the back door. All you have to do is step out the door, clip him on the chain, and let him run. It gives him plenty of room to run. 20-foot rope with a 20-foot chain. It gives him 40 square feet to run. He won't dig up the property. He can get all the exercise he needs. When you let him back in the house, you just open the door and he comes in and you unhook him. Thank you very much for listening to me. If you have any other questions, please call East Brunswick Animal Control at 390-6900. Remember, leash your pets.
Hello, and welcome once again to Consumer Aware. I'm Adrienne Eisner of the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office. Today we're going to be talking about missing children. It is hard to imagine anything more terrifying than discovering that your child is missing. Yet, this terror strikes the hearts of thousands of New Jersey families every year. In recent months, attention has been focused on the serious problem of missing children. In January 1984, the state of New Jersey took a significant step forward in dealing with this problem when Governor Kane ordered the creation of a Commission on Missing Persons and the establishment within the state police of a missing persons unit. In addition, on June 12th of this year, Attorney General Erwin Kimmelman issued a directive to all law enforcement agencies under his jurisdiction, instructing them as soon as a juvenile is reported missing, a complete record must be taken immediately and prompt attention taken to locate the missing juvenile. Today we're going to be talking about some of the precautions that parents can take to avoid the problem of missing children. It is very important that you approach this sensitive subject carefully and without emotion so that you do not frighten your children. Teach your child at an early age the facts about abduction and what it means. Define what a stranger is. Let your child know that just because they see someone every day, for instance, the paper boy or a mailman, it does not mean that these people are not strangers. Never leave your child unattended in a vehicle. It is a proven fact that it takes less than 5 seconds to abduct a child from a vehicle. Always accompany your child to the bathroom in a public place. Teach your child their full name, address, and telephone number and your name. Teach your child how to use a telephone. Use a play telephone to practice. Make sure that your child never accepts gifts or candy from strangers. Give your child permission to say no to adults. Be sure they realize that not every adult has authority over children, especially if that adult has asked your children to do something that you have taught them is wrong. It is very important that your children be able to talk to you. Encourage them to tell you about anyone who approaches them and offers them gifts, treats, or wants to take their pictures. Keep your children within sight at all times, especially in crowded places. Shopping malls are crowded and offer abductors an easy place to pick up children. Be extremely cautious in selecting babysitters and daycare centers. Always check references. Children who are home alone should never open the door to strangers or volunteer information to anyone over the telephone that they are home alone. Avoid dressing your children in clothing that has their names printed on them. If someone grabs hold of your child, teach him to yell, kick, or do anything to draw attention. But please remember, it is very important to be matter-of-fact in discussing this safety precaution with your children. Teach them to be safe, but do it without intimidating them. If your child is missing, call the police immediately. Ask them to fill out a missing persons report. You should also contact an organization called Child Find. They can also help you. They can be reached at 1-800-431-5005. If you have any questions about anything you've heard today about missing children or any consumer-related problems, please be sure to call us at the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office. We're there to help you every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. So please call us at the Municipal Building, 390-6954. Please join us again next week on Consumer Aware.
At Monday night's council meeting, employees on Edgeboro Road complained to the council about truck traffic that leads to and from the Edgeboro Disposal Company. Bob Dontello told the council he received a ticket for passing the long line of trucks to get to work down the center lane, but that there was no lane definition in the area. Town Administrator Gregory Fahrenbach said that repairs, such as paving and plastic striping, are being coordinated with the landfill improvements mandated by the recent rate increase agreement between Edgeboro and the Board of Public Utilities, which is all deadline to happen by September 15th. Also during the public portion, a group of young adults spoke, asking for the council's help to find them a place to go and meet friends and socialize. Mayor Fox suggested that maybe something could be worked out if someone was willing to take responsibility for the kids to meet at the Nature Center at the community beach. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.